Nothing's working.
We got one. So let's see what we go.
Yeah. Well, I like those between. I'll care first. Maybe later. Maybe later. No eating, so. I'm not paying. People call special. Stop it. No eating. You don't know what's on. Need a bit of some eating.
If you roll me, sure.
I'm all about. You have it.
I see Ryan come home the other day, one dog.
Normally it's all while we work.
Actually, you're right, I had seen it on us already. My help wasn't even all the way.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my crap.
Yeah, this time we might come in on.
Lady, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see you too.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, we'll go ahead and continue. City clerk, can you give the call to order, please? Or I did the call to order. Can you go ahead and Councilman Ringhausen lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City clerk, give a roll call, please.
Mr. Sutter.
Here.
Evans. Here. Ms. Ardeno. Here. Mr. Gilder.
Here.
Joe.
Here.
Mr. Roberts.
Here.
Gilbert.
Here.
Mr. Ringhausen.
Here. All righty. Council, any agenda revisions? Revisions? I do have one. I'll make a call. Is there John or Steve, did y'all have any plans on addressing the council tonight? It's okay if you didn't.
We're simply here as part of the local ministerial alliance, seeking to bring a greater contribution and be a part of the well-being of our community because we care and we felt like we have not done due diligence to be here, and we're going to try to do that more often. And if we can be of help in any way in regards to bettering the council ourselves and just being a part of this community in a better way, we certainly want to offer that to the council as well. I serve as the vice president of the Ministerial Alliance. Pastor Steve Gamble is leading the Belong Church in town, and I currently serve with my wife in what we utilize as a coffee house ministry, and it's done very well the last 2 years. We've been here. And so we just feel like we need to be a better part of this community and actively being aware and if possible, a very positive voice overall. So, thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, council discussion. First item on the agenda is tax levy.
So we got a new version of ordinance 7179. And we have the previous one, 7178 from last month. The only difference between them is a little bit of difference in the whereas clauses and the authorized rates. Now, we do have to note that the most recent numbers were run. The last ceiling was 0.8074. With the most recent numbers, it's 0.8058. Want to act on that one, and we'll have to have amendments to that ordinance to reflect that up-to-date number. That just has to do with, I don't know, the difference between the numbers that were available when the forms were originally sent to the state auditor, the numbers that then became available later. Either way, our ordinance has to be sent to the state auditor for approval. So they'll look and make sure the calculation is correct. Pass the appropriate tax rate. So I suppose I would make a motion then pass Bill 7179, which is titled similarly to the one we have in front of us, an ordinance enacted pursuant to Missouri Revised Statute Section 67.110, fixing the annual rate of levy for the real estate and personal property taxes within the corporate limits of the city of Louisiana, Missouri. And that the tax rate be amended in that ordinance to 0.8058.
What was the bill number you just quoted?
I believe it was just the one previous to this one, 7178. Last
I
time,
thought I heard you say something
here. Meant 78, if I said that incorrectly.
8378.
Wow.
So, question, I know you want a motion in a second when we get into discussion. The question I had was, I know that one was posted at last week's meeting, okay? Did it get posted for this week's meeting with the correction? Did it get posted at all?
I posted the new one, the other one,
But the other, this has not been posted.
Bill 7178 was posted last meeting. Bill 7179 is posted this meeting.
Okay, so
Was
Question,
I supposed to repost 7178?
if it was gonna be brought up tonight, I think it may have. Lindy, what's your interpretation of that?
I think that's it. The topic was posted, so I think that they could, if you would feel more comfortable, Nick, you could amend the current bill to read like the new one. You just might need to also amend, you need to take caution with the whereas clauses, because some of those might need to change as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I know in the drafting of the new bill, at least one whereas clause was deleted. I would say that the language is almost entirely the same, except for a couple of whereas clauses. Can't hear you. Sorry, I do believe that,
It's on.
I do believe that the language in this new one is almost identical to the language in the last one. I removed one whereas clause and rephrased one other. Oh, and actually it looks, oh no, yeah,
Well, point taken here is almost the same and is two different things.
so I think,
So is it the same or not?
no, of course it's not the same, that's why there's two bills. So the tax rate is different, and some of the whereas clauses that are describing the justification for the bill, a couple of these have changed. I think there's one that's removed and one that was slightly edited. think it's the whereas the city council and mayor, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth whereas clause was amended.
So my biggest contention is Friday when we got our paperwork. 71, 79 is what we received, and I assume is what was posted. So I would have contention, or concerns, I should say, if we was proposed, last week's bill.
Wouldn't that
for
just
this
normally
one.
go under whole business? I don't know, I mean, like Lindy said, the topic was proposed, right, tax levy. And it's the same thing we had that was posted 1 week ago. I don't know, I mean, I could amend it.
So
to
the
remove-
council can do what the council wants to do, that's fine. I just, the part of transparency and letting the community know ahead of time what its intentions are for Monday night's meeting. Being posted on Friday, it's now a little bit different tonight than it was last Friday. Legally, council can probably do whatever they want to do based on the topics. I mean, I have a concern with modifying or stepping away from 71, 79, just so that the council is aware of it.
Okay. Yeah. But I think we're waiting on a second. I want to second the bill from last week.
I will second it, and I'd like to, that way we can actually discuss it.
All right, we got a motion and a second for a bill not before me right now, 71, 78. That was posted last week. Was it amended for the correct number and the whereases and whatnot to that? Because we'll have to read that.
The only difference is that the whereases on 71, 78 remain the same. The differences in the whereases are only between 71, 78 and 71, 79.
Okay, and so what is the new number you're proposing? I mean, we'll have to amend 71, 78, is that correct?
Yes, and that was in my motion.
Was it in your motion?
Yes.
And what number?
Should be 0.8358, isn't that what you said?
805.
So is the current motion on the 71, 78 or the 71, 79?
71, 78.
Okay. I thought, all right, and the 71, 70, I'm looking at the 71, 79. You have, this amends the tax rates to reflect what's in the 71, 79 bill. Again, I'm a little confused.
Nick, yeah, I think it'd be cleaner to just go ahead and ignore 71, 78. So if I were you, I would withdraw your motion and I would move to amend 71, 79. If you're gonna change anything at all, that's what I would do.
Yeah, it sounds like it's been too confusing. So I withdraw my motion.
Rodney needs to withdraw his second first, right?
I'll withdraw my second.
Withdraw the motion then.
Motion's withdrawn, the floor is open again.
So I'll make a motion to pass bill number 71, 79, an ordinance enacted pursuant to Missouri Revised Statutes, section 67.110, fixing the annual rate of levy for the real estate and personal property taxes within corporate limits of Louisiana, Missouri. And I will further state that the tax rate listed in this ordinance, wherever it reads 0.7359, be amended to read 0.8058. Yep, that's the most updated one. And furthermore, that any numbers that read 0.8359 be amended to read 0.90. Finally, At the fifth whereas clause. He did. Let me get a council packet the last time. Those papers for you. Almost done with the motion. Well, then. I will leave that one to read. All right, motion finished.
All right. Mary, did you get all that? For the record?
Yes. Who's my second? Thank you.
So we got a motion and a second. Bill 7179, adjusting the annual tax rate to 9058 overall with 0.8058 for general funds and 0.1 for the library funds. Any discussion?
Discussion. On August 22nd, which was last week, I asked the question, Kelly, this one's for you. What is the money going to be used for? What will the additional monies be used for?
There's numerous things that can be used for, but I don't think that this is my decision on whether I'm raising the taxes
You
or
make
not
the
raising the
budget.
tax. I do.
Yes,
And
then you have a decision to,
so, you know, at this time, the only safe thing I can tell you is that if this council decides to charge those taxes, that at the very least, it'll go to reserves.
I repeat again,
At the very least, it'll go to the reserves.
go to the reserve.
Sure.
Then if it's going to the reserve, why do we need it?
So
What I'm getting at is that we're also coming up on the next item here of another item concerning concerning the what, the mayor, is that it? And is this money gonna be used towards that?
I can't say it's possible.
Well, if I'm going to vote on raising taxes for the public here, I'd like to know, you know, what it's being used for. I never made up a budget that there wasn't a reason for what was in there and why it was in there. And if I was asked the question, why is this in there? I better be able to answer. I should have been ready.
I
May I add a point of information, Mr. Chairman?
Is that Greg?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Greg.
So, Mr. Giltner, as I put in a closed memo to the council, the tax rate collections should factor in the city's actual collection rate on its property taxes. Kelly had indicated last meeting that that's typically 90% of the actual property taxes billed. And so using those final state auditors numbers, even at the full 0.8058 rate all that last information showed that the estimated revenue, assuming the 90% collection rate, would be $266,290 from all property tax sources. What is in the budget as revenue from all property tax sources is $262,000. So at the Hancock ceiling rate of 0.8058, the increase would be $4,290 or 1.6%. And so that's the additional amount that you're talking about here. And it's of course talking about budgets and tax rates, and so there's it's not nothing. It's 1.6%, but it is not a giant amount over what was already budgeted as revenue.
When was this budget made?
April of year, right? And we look at it again in like.
It's April, and the state auditor doesn't set these numbers until July.
And if the budget was made in April to operate for this next year, then unless we had a dire emergency or something between April and now, why would we need to raise the taxes? We could raise them next year.
We can't,
Oh, there will be.
no.
No, only by vote next year.
Or the year after or whatever. My point is that we're grasping here for something that's not being said. That we need, when you make a budget up, and I made a lot of budgets. My last budget was $5 million. And I think I know a little bit about it. But when you make the budget up, unless you have some sort of emergency, like a building blowing up or some dire act that would happen to the city, then that's a budget that we are to comply with and that we're to stay within. But here, after the budget's made 4 months, all of a sudden we need additional money. My question is, why?
Well, I'd like to say on the timing, we don't get the numbers from the county assessor until late July. So
It's a guess. We really don't have the most concrete idea until they get those numbers to discuss what they want to do.
I understand.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Our
$4,000, not like 30 grand.
You're not under much different laws than we were in school. So I understand that.
So, let me add some context to this. And I realize going through this, looking at the closed memo, the council is fully in a trade to make the adjustments to 0.9058. Currently, we are what, 8058, so we're at 8359 with the library included. So we're making that adjustment. And the argument can be made for the cost of living, everything's higher, and cost of operating and expenses and everything. But what the council kind of fails to forget, and it's something I ran on as campaign as mayor, as far as tax increases, that I would never support a tax increase without at first doing some due diligence and letting the citizens know what we intend to do with those funds. I had a discussion with Kelly this morning about this, and I fully understand as far as legally being able to make this adjustment. I understand that. However, one of the arguments that I shouldn't say arguments, one of the discussions that we talked about was we applied for a darn near $1 million grant down here on the riverfront. And one point of view is we can use those funds to help offset our 25% match if we get it. Well, there's no guarantee that we get it, but we're still going to collect that tax. And my counter view on that is, well, if we get that grant, we can actually show the citizens, this is what we got. This is what we're going to do with this. And we need a 25% match to pay for this. And we can, with head held high, and ask the voters to vote in a 3-year, 2-year, 4-year increase above the 1% mark to cover the cost of the project. I know the citizens, if they see something that's going to be tangible and obtainable, and we got the funding, we can get it. But to increase our property taxes, even at this minute amount, doesn't send a good, clear picture to the citizens without something tangible. It's very minute, but I didn't run for that reason. I mean, as far as a campaign promise, if you want to call it a campaign promise, my promise to the citizens was that we would not increase our taxes unless we had a well laid out plan before us of what we're going to do with it. And that's my position on it. Can we use money? Yes, we can use money. Can we spend the money? We can too, but every citizen in the city of Louisiana can use a pay raise and increase to their social security and everything else. But we hold the purse strings here as far as what we do on this tonight. So that's my stance on it.
I have a question. Our assessed values in this area has gone down.
Yeah.
No,
It's one.
our assessed values have gone down. If we stay with the same tax rate, how is that going to affect our budget? Won't that create a loss?
So our budget's set this year, and Kelly, you might be able to answer it a little bit better, but right now our budget's set. Now, next year, it seems like we've been at the status quo of our revenue for the last 25 years. I understand that. And we've been able to operate, and we have lost services, and we haven't been able to do pay raises, and we have not flourished. But the taxing of it is, I'm not sure if that's the answer. I don't think that's the answer. We can't tax ourselves into prosperity. I know that.
Are
We got to have a well laid out plan.
Are we gonna have those dollars in the budget that we had budgeted for with a lower assessed value?
So this year, we have not lost any, we will not lose any funding. Now, next year, our funding's not going to go any lower than what it is.
Who's to say inflation doesn't go up even more? You know, that the only point I'm making is, it's not like we're trying to get rich off of the taxes that, you know, we're even passing just the minor adjustment. If the money was to go to reserves, if the money went wherever we all felt as a whole, it needed to be used on, whether it was the grant, whether it was, and I'm not a fully certified person that knows how the money can be spent, but if there was a need, I would think that we would put it in the right place. I mean, it's not like we're just taking it to take it, but the not giving the raises, you're not having any, I'm not saying that taxing is the answer, but you have to have all that, keep your infrastructure alive with the price of everything that you can see across the board. It's not getting any cheaper. And the way all the investors and everything, even my financial guy, he sees it getting worse. So if that's the case, having a little extra isn't always bad. You know, I can't break down the numbers for what everybody's increases are gonna be, but
Well, there's an old, sorry.
If I may, because it's a perfect segue, you said you don't know what the increase is gonna be. Taking because it's an easy round number, if somebody's house is valued at $100,000, the way you calculate the assessed values, you multiply for residential property. If I recall from the tax presentation before, it's 19%. So you take the market value, multiply it by 19%, and then the assessed value is then it's up. The max is $1 per 100 in assessed value. And so you multiply the tax rate by that number. So for a house valued at $100,000, the difference between the one and the other would be $13.28 over a year. So that puts a little bit of a concrete number on it, I believe.
So one of the things as well as this. We're gonna know in 30 days if we got this grant or not. Right?
Yeah, I got a letter from a past councilman. I don't know who all got it. I think there probably several people got it. An interesting number was when Don was mayor, his operating budget, the last year he was in was $320,630. 10 years ago? Yeah, 10 years ago. Our operating cost this year is $233,700, $100,000 less than what we were operating on 10 years. Tim was right, we haven't had an increase. We're losing 9% this year just off of the inflation. I mean, we didn't budget the inflation to get the way we got it. We need the money and we need the vote. We need an exorbitant amount for it just to try to keep and maintain. When there's a little extra money, put it to good use. Yes, the money might go into the reserve funds. But you didn't leave office after 4 years, $1 million in the bank without putting some money in reserves each year out of your budget. Correct?
We left $1 million.
So where'd it come from? We had to put some money back every
The
year.
big part of it came from Walmart because I adjusted budget early.
But you took money,
Early.
you put money into the reserve fund when you didn't need it.
It took care of the money that was lost from Walmart tax. That evened us
But it
out.
got there.
When they walked out, it evened us out across the board.
And I don't care where it went, I'm asking where how it got in there. And it was from reserve fund. Your reserve fund from your budget every year. You had to have money left over in your budget in order to go in the reserve fund.
Right.
So, I mean, you're questioning us or Kelly as far as putting it in a reserve fund, what little bit we've got, we have to have a reserve.
No, excuse me, Bobby, go ahead. I shouldn't have broken it. Go ahead.
We have to have money in reserve fund to cover like an explosion or a boiler going out or whatever might happen. You have to have reserve fund. And we haven't had much reserve fund the last several years.
But you know, the other night, Bobby, I said, would it also go for lawyers? You know, if the council's contemplating lawyers, would it go for them?
I don't know. It would be
They're in. They're in.
I have a quick question,
Go ahead, Mr. Goldberg.
if I may. Nick, the bill I'm looking at, 7179, has a statement. Whereas the city council and the mayor have determined that it is prudent to authorize a continued voluntary reduction. Is that not in this bill that we're talking about?
No, that was removed from the amended one.
So,
Because that one was specifically written for the lower rate. There was a different one for the higher rate.
we had the 91 or the 7178, which that rate has come down a little bit from what. So you've taken that section out. Okay.
Section is just removed. And then any other places where it said 7359, I put into amended to 0.8058. And I would like to emphasize though that language, a continued voluntary reduction. The city has for at least 4 years been taking a voluntary reduction from the rate that was originally authorized. And so I think we've got plenty of things that it could be spent on. The ultimate decision comes down to when we get our mid-year budget, right? We can look at where it's most needed, and when we see it, we can use it. But if, assuming 100% collection, what was it, 29,000 difference to the budget? Yeah, so we do almost, I mean, between 50 and 60,000 over the 2 years. Right, because we're choosing a voluntary reduction, right? That's what it is from the rate that was authorized. Back in 1980.
Get 93 to 94%.
What's that? Yeah, exactly. So, and then once you take that into effect, passing the same rate puts us, I think it was like 19,000 under the budget. Passing the rate that we had before us would put us about 4,000 over what we've got budgeted. So it's actually going to be moving farther out of compliance with 67-110 if we pass the 73-59 as opposed to the 80-58.
And so before we continue on, any council members that haven't spoken that hasn't had an opportunity. All right, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Fedorf,
No.
Evan, Ms. Hartnell,
Yes.
Mr. Giltner,
No.
Mr. Pajot,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert,
yes,
Mr. Ringhouse.
Yes.
Voting on.
This is voting for 8. Sorry, the amending was sort of,
Is it 79 or 78?
well, we decided not to. Yeah, so it's an amendment of 79.
Next item on the agenda is letter of engagement.
Wait, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, never mind.
Linda, was that what you were gonna say, or do you have something else?
Well, if you guys want to pass this tonight, you need to probably do a second reading.
Yeah, exactly, that's what Kip needed. I'll make a motion for a second reading of an ordinance enacted pursuant to Missouri Revised Statute Section 67.110, fixing the annual rate of levy for the real estate and personal property taxes within the corporate limits of the city of Louisiana, Missouri.
Second.
We have a first and second, any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Fedorf,
No.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Hartnell,
Yes.
Giltner,
No.
Mr. Pajot,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert,
yes,
Mr. Ringhouse.
Yes. All righty, next item on agenda, letter of engagement. I want to ask the council a question to consider. I know I've put out emails and responses, to the letter of engagement from the discussion last week. I'm going to ask council indulge me and also some of our leadership that's in the community, because there is a plan in place that we want to share with the council before we pull the trigger on expending some funds for potentially wherever the ball bounces, so to speak. So this is very unique. I approached today and was talked about today. Not prepared to really share a lot. I want them to share with the council their proposals that they have. as far as before we starting down a road, dealing with, lawyers and litigations and things of this nature that typically, will not benefit the citizens of, Louisiana. I think we all have the best intentions for, the citizens of Louisiana, the employees of Louisiana, and we also want to maintain our integrity as a council and local government. I would ask, that this item be tabled till, next week. Because that's what the request was to me, so they can have all their stuff ready to bring to the council for a discussion. And I don't have any more detail than that because I can't speak on their behalf. But just that I was approached, some of the members are here tonight. They really, they have a strong concern for our community as much as we all do. So I asked the council to indulge me on 1 week's time. Motion table.
I have a question. Is this plan going to help the council investigate and act on the complaint that we have filed against, or that we have to take action on? I mean, that's the primary and first most reason why we're moving down the path towards hiring a special counsel. I guess I'm always open to hear new ideas, but I'm struggling to understand how that's going to help us act on the complaint that we have, sitting on all of our desks. And I'm sorry, what did you say the time frame was on this group making some kind of presentation to us?
Monday.
It's next one.
Yeah, so we have a first and a second, so let's continue our discussion.
Gonna say so, the special meeting.
Yeah.
Actually, that's Labor Day.
Well, we can set that, we can set that. We haven't set a date. They needed next week.
Could it be on committee night meeting?
Because to answer your question, Councilman Goldberg, yes, it would address, from what I heard, it would address. And it would, it could be binding or it can be general terms. But I'm not going to speak on their behalf because I would like to have a fluid discussion between them and the council to at least hear the concerns and their solutions. And the whole thing about this is doing this in a process that's positive for everyone involved. I'm not looking to skirt anything by suggesting this. I just want to be open and afford an opportunity for the members of the community to be heard. And I don't mean an open public forum. I mean a specifically set agenda that they would have in place that they want to present. So.
Are there any members here who might be able to speak in a little more detail to what the plan is? Because it's pretty vague to be working on, I think, when we've got
Legal
some
issues.
complaints that have been already.
Well, there's no litigation or anything pending, right?
No, I said complaints.
Okay, well, she said legal issue.
They don't have to be, doesn't have to be litigation to be illegal. Looks like you know.
I mean, if anyone wants to, they can speak to it, but they're not prepared to speak tonight. So, any other discussion? No other discussion?
I do. We need something, really, but, couple meetings ago. I talked to the council about the problems that, we were having, or the council was having concerning mayor and some of these, decisions and so forth. And we got in where we were thinking about, possibly hiring, a law firm to look into the possibility of seeing, if some of these things could be corrected. I then asked, why would we have to get any outside resources? Excuse me. Why can't we clean our own house? Why can't we, 8 grown people sitting here? Well, maybe I'm not, but anyway, 7. And talk to one person. If we got problems, let's get to it and do it eyeball to eyeball. Instead of doing it lawyer to eyeball. Thank you, Nick. I got eyeball. Yeah, I was eyeballing. But it only makes are you telling me that we're not smart enough and that we're too dumb that we can't solve our own problem? Now, I know. And I have my partner right here, and I take up for it. That has tried the talking to and so forth. That's one person. And I applaud him for it. I think it's great what he did. But there's 8 of them. And eyeball, and whether he likes it or not is immaterial. That's our job. And I think we should be doing our own job instead of putting it out for a law firm to do it for us. And that's the end of my dissertation for a while.
All right, any other discussion?
Yeah, what was the motion and who made it and who seconded it?
So to table, the motion was made by Councilman Sutter to table till next week and seconded by Councilman Giltner. Take the call.
Mr. Sutterhouse?
Yes.
Ms. Evans? No. Ms. Ardno? No. Mr. Giltner?
Yeah.
Mr. Peugeot?
No.
Mr. Roberts?
No.
Mr. Dolbear?
No.
Mr. Ringhausen?
No.
All right, motion fails. All right,
So we're told we're not smart enough.
I want to pull kids down.
That's what you all voted on, that you're not smart enough. Thank you.
Point proven.
I'll make a motion to approve the letter of engagement hiring Kistner, Hamilton, Elon, and Martin LLC. Purpose of the special counsel investigation into personnel complaints. I will also include in that motion to appoint Rodney Dolbear to sign the motion. And I will leave for the moment. We need to appoint a contact member. And I will leave for a moment to amend the motion with that in a few minutes after discussion. That made enough sense for a second.
I will second that.
all right, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? So the motion was made to execute a letter of engagement with the law firm to investigate complaints You stated the name and you stated who was going to execute the agreement. Lindy, I'm going to show and put it on the record that I am objecting to this as far as this needs to be in writing, either through resolution or ordinance in order to enter a contract.
I would say we have done that. We have a contract of authorized the execution. We read it in the record at the last meeting. I would say that at the moment, we do not have to direct Mr. Martin to take action immediately. But and if we have resolution coming, then I would like to consider that. But at the moment, I think we need to show that we are moving on the complaints that we have sitting in front of us.
My intent's not to debate. I just wanted on the record that I object to it. I do not believe that we may be fully following the statute.
What are we objecting to?
He's objecting to the letter of engagement.
Now, what are you objecting to?
I'm not objecting to anything. I made the motion for the letter of engagement, and I'm saying that I think we need to vote yes or no on the letter of engagement. And we don't actually have to have Mr. Martin do the work immediately. But I think we need to show that we are moving on these complaints, that we're taking them seriously, and that we're going to get them investigated.
Well, what are the complaints?
We had them in closed session. You have copies of it? We can get you copies. You should have had copies from a couple meetings ago.
Well,
So,
they're gonna come out.
so that's the second objection I have. There's complaints that's filed against a public official. There's no pending litigation. There is no discipline. There's no hiring, firing of an elected official. Those records should be open. I like that on the record too as an objection. So any other discussion? Case
To
for
answer
clarity.
a few points,
Right.
Mr. Giltner and the council. I sent an email earlier today. Hopefully you guys saw that. I do not believe that the authorization of this contract would be in violation of 432.070. Also, just to clarify, the complaints are submitted by employees and they are confidential records of the employee's personnel file. So that is why they are closed.
All right, any other discussion because the questions are already.
Actually, the contract calls for, let's see where it was. Thank you for that. Oh, I have it. I don't remember that. Section 3, the council will appoint a contact person for information or developments that may come to the council's attention. You to choose a contact person, and I will amend my motion.
Go backwards. Backwards on your amendments.
Oh, yeah, okay.
A point of order on that. I mean, you certainly could vote on the existing motion, and then if that passes, you could do a separate motion to designate a contact person. That's
That might.
procedurally probably the least confusing.
We've had enough of the procedural confusion tonight. All right. I have no.
Okay, go ahead and take the roll, please.
Mr. Sutter.
Oh.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Cardinal. Yes. Mr. Giltner.
Comment before I vote, since where our extra money's going? No.
Yep. Sure is. That's what getting ready. No, yes, abstain.
Oh, I didn't think you called me yet. Yes.
No, I called Mr. Giltner.
No, I voted no.
Thank you.
All right,
Mr. Jones.
excuse me. Read the motion again. Okay. Sidetrack there.
Mr. Pajero.
All right, so the motion was to authorize the signing of a letter of engagement And to authorize Rodney Dolbear to sign it. That's all.
Oh,
Mr. Pichon,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Goldberg,
yes,
Mr. Ringhausen.
Yes.
Motion carries. Point of order, since we got both our city attorneys on, we do have city ordinances stating as far as how our Zoom meetings are to be utilized by council members. Nick, you drafted that, right?
What?
The ordinance as far as our video conferencing and utilization. So the question is, it's in our ordinances that members of the council can only utilize the Zoom meetings 3 times per year unless there's a pandemic or some sort of an emergency that would prohibit councilmen utilizing the Zoom. So the point of question I asked for our city attorneys, we have a council member now that's on Zoom that has exceeded that number that's in our ordinance. So I do not believe there's any repercussions drafted in the ordinance, but where does that leave us? Greg or Lindy can answer that, please.
We have this question beforehand.
I'm just now, right now. No.
Okay.
And if it's something that you need to research and bill us $250 an hour to do it, go ahead. That's a question I have for the city attorneys. I believe maybe the votes may not count, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna let the attorneys let me know on that. Next item on the agenda. Yep.
I don't know, somebody unmuted for a second. I didn't know if they were gonna answer.
All right,
Okay,
I was trying to answer. My whole laptop went dark. I could hear you, but I could touch or I couldn't do anything there for a moment. So I apologize for that. And so we can look at that issue, Mr. Mayor, and there hasn't been any motion or action to disqualify any voting member to date. And then there's also then going to be a question of whether the pandemic is still in process. By some definitions it will be, but we can look at that and get you a memo on it.
Council, if you don't mind, I should have asked this before. I'd like to make an adjustment on the agenda and bring up the city treasurer since they've been patiently waiting this evening. I do have a resolution drafted and prepared to make the appointment for city treasurer to Guy Crouch, excuse me. A resolution of the City of Louisiana Council providing consent to the mayor's appointment of the city treasurer. Whereas the mayor has the authority to make a recommendation for appointment of the city treasurer of the city of Louisiana, Missouri. And whereas the city council has to consent by majority to said appointment by the mayor. And whereas the mayor wishes to seek council's consent for the following appointment to city treasurer. Now therefore be it resolved by the city council of the city of Louisiana, Pike County, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the mayor hereby appoints, the city council hereby consents the following appointment of city treasurer for an indefinite term, William Guy Crouch. Section 2, this resolution shall become effective upon its approval by the city council and execution by the mayor. I entertain a motion to approve.
Was that posted publicly for?
Don't have to, it's a resolution.
I'll second.
You first,
No, first.
Bill's got the first, Nick's got the second. Open for discussion.
It's Mr. Crouch here this evening.
There he is.
Hi, Crouch. Can you give us your qualifications, please?
Sure, I'm a certified public accountant in the states of Missouri and California. I have been in my own practice again now for several years. Was partner with a large CPA firm in Clayton. And a number of years. My niche is individual taxation, corporate taxation, with a specializing in not-for-profits, particularly continuing care retirement facilities in California, Missouri, Minnesota. And I have a few restaurant clients here and there, so.
So will this be a full-time job for you?
I had not been asked for it to be.
The pension is a full-time position. He would be our city treasurer. And he would fulfill the duties of city treasurer. Are you asking particularly as far as hours? So, as long as the job, my intention, his intention, as long as the job gets done. Now, we know our previous city treasurer did a multitude of things beyond the duties of city treasurer. She worked in the license office, she worked in the water department, she worked in all that stuff. I do not see a guy working in the license office and working in the water department.
You sure, guy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But we do have a plan in place, and I spoke with Kelly today about the administrative assistant and the duties and the workings of our office. And we do have a plan to cover all of our bases with the positions that we have open. Any other discussion?
We talked last time about, you had somebody that was interested in the full-time position. Is this the person or was there somebody else?
There's two. I had two people. The other one withdrawn. The other one may be interested in the administrative assistant.
Oh, so there would be a second position.
And that's not unless we tie on the collector to it, it's not an appointed position, but it's an internal.
Oh, yeah. So we'd be hiring someone else to be helping with the.
So, yeah, and currently, right now, we are down how many positions, Kelly, in the office? Two positions. So we'll be filling one, and then with the administrative assistants, we be filling the other one as well.
And you're sure you can, you can do it all? I know you already got a good business going.
I do. To address your point and maybe Nancy's at the same time, I look at it from as if it was a salary position kind of issue. It's not the number of hours that you sit in the chair in a day, it's whether or not the job gets done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And so utilizing my skill set and perhaps the city of the Mayor Carter, what was the title you said?
Administrative assistant.
Administrative assistant to get the job done.
Any other questions? Hearing none, go ahead and call the roll, please.
Mr. Sedars,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Ardno,
No.
Mr. Giltner,
Yes.
Mr. Peugeot,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Dober,
Yes.
Mr. Ringhausen.
Yes.
Resolution fully approved and adopted. Thank you, council. We'll go back to the next line item on the item of the agenda is the police car expenditure. So whoever wants to take up the cause, there is a point of, well, I shouldn't say a point, there's a question. The question is, I like for the public and for the rest of the council may or may not be aware of, the initiation of having two cars sitting on the lot right now, right? And basically, you know, last Monday, Chief, you mentioned that you was working on pulling the VINs and stuff like that.
No, I said that if the bids were already cut, they would give us state bid price. They canceled all state bids, but these were pre-state bids. And then I also explained that they upped the delivery day because they were bringing Pike County off.
So the question is, just to be transparent and open about it. So I mean, I'll stick mine, can we, so the question I have, and regardless of the question itself, the issue is gonna be resolved tonight regardless, right? So, but the question, just for transparency purposes, is, you know, is the authorization. You know, we got two cars sitting on our lot right now. And that may have been done, I think council member Stephanie mentioned that it may have been done with the previous council last year, November or whatever. That there's authorization given to be placed on a waiting list for vehicles.
That is correct. That's how we got the bids before they canceled state bid.
So the reason the confusion's here is because I don't know if we did that by resolution or if we did that by ordinance. I do know that, you know, we only budgeted for a certain amount of this year for appropriations for a purchase of a vehicle.
Well, the original authorization and the budgeting for two police vehicles that were non-SUVs, they were Chargers. The Chargers are less expensive than the SUVs. They canceled out the Chargers, and you only have one other vehicle that you could choose as a police vehicle at that point. And then Chevrolet, Ford, and Dodge all canceled their state bids. And what they indicated was if you were already on the waiting list, like you expressed your interest beforehand, that it was basically a whoever's requested it the longest type of the lead for them.
So clarify as far as, so originally, what have we appropriated for? The dollar amount. We got the forms in front of us.
Then it should be on that form.
So what was originally appropriated? So,
I have it in front of me. Actually on that form.
I just want to walk through the process so everyone is aware of how we got from there to here. Yeah, if you would like.
Yeah, I'll try to help you out a little bit. So currently, let's kind of start with the middle of your first page where it talks about what your current principal and interest payments are with your Durango that you have. So as you can see, your principal is $39.52, your interest is $15.81. So if you go down, look at right underneath of that, that's taken right from the budget. So when I was trying to allocate some money for a different vehicle or a different vehicle, that left us with about roughly 4,000, just a hair less in the equipment payment lease principal line, and it leaves us with about $15.81 in the interest line. There was originally more, I believe, in the original budget, but when we come back and added some raises and a couple other things, I think this is one of the line items that down. So that's kind of good enough for that part.
Yeah, so, but we don't have in this paperwork, we don't have a figured what we budgeted for.
So, well, I mean, you can do the math and say, yeah, because what you budgeted for was your lease purchase right below. So in that line of 2370, and actually that's 237019 extra line item 6064505, and I can check that's correct or not. There. I do know that the bottom line is correct on 158171 for the interest payment. Okay. So on your second page, on the top is the insurance proceeds from the two damaged cars. One was 16015, the other one was 9609 for a total of 25,624. I kind of ran it both ways. The total purchase price of one unit was 41,475. That is unit and the equipment. Inflation of equipment goes in it. Insurance proceeds is totals of 25,624. Amount left finance is 50,851. And this is estimated payments on your principal and interest. So as you can see, kind of going down through there, at least first year principal looks like it'd be 1687.61 and interest 675.39, which would not add anything to the budget. That would be included the expenses that are already budgeted. So if you go down to the next set, you guys can read through the numbers where it's at, basically everything's doubled there. And from running the numbers, that would result in about 5,000 per year more than budgeted deficit in the current budget.
Does it look like we can make that up somewhere, or would it have to hold?
So I don't want to speak for anything. We're not in this budget very far. And again, I kind of give you the same answer I give Don right now. The only sure answer is I can give you is it have to be from the reserves. Now, come November, you could look and may have some revenues that may be up or some other expenses that may be down in that budget. But it's too early in the budget for me to confident answer. Take it from the reserve.
So in simple terms, we can afford one right now. Get two, we're gonna be doing some deficit spending once we pull from the reserve.
Yes.
Savings on cars at this time, because I know they're gonna go, I mean, that was a special thing that was cut off.
Correct. When the state bid comes out, they send it out to all the dealerships and they say, what can you provide the vehicle with this type of equipment for this? It returns that in for reputable. The state makes the determination that state bid carries for the state and any agency within the state that wants to piggyback that. From the numbers that they shared with us, it's about $16,000 difference from state bid to non-state bid for one vehicle. So you don't take the state bid, you get another vehicle. If you can get another police vehicle, you're looking at about $15,000. That's a rough estimate.
And how many functioning vehicles do we have at the moment?
Presently, you have. But we definitely got the actual K9 vehicles, specialty vehicles, cannot be utilized for transport. So therefore, it cannot be utilized for patrol. Other than that, you have the 96 Impala, which would be debatable if it's really a transport. It was originally designed and set up as a non-primary vehicle. We have been using it for that. It's a police interceptor package. Other than that, right now you have car 3.
And the van,
The
did
van's
y'all have
not
a
in.
van?
We do not have.
Thank you, that's all.
So the question I see that's before the council right now is whether they want to pursue one vehicle or 2 vehicles. Either way, I imagine a resolution or an ordinance would have to be drafted to
enter this contract.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Rod.
Chief, what, obviously we're in the proverbial cash crunch. If we were to replace the one vehicle as we have budgeted, what's your operation? How is that, I guess, can you make that work? I know we lost two vehicles, but what, operationally, how does that affect us?
It would most def, I apologize, Mr. Goldberry. It would obviously affect multiple things in the department. Right now, we do not have any take-home vehicles for the officers. Therefore, everybody either responds to the scene or they come here to get a vehicle. That's number one. Also, car number 3, which is the functioning patrol car at the moment, has anticipated repairs that are coming towards it from speaking to River City. The repairs on that vehicle are probably going to look at about $8,500. And the problem is not necessarily that the vehicle is not usable as it is. It's the wear and tear that continues on that vehicle, operating it 24/7 across 3 shifts. So from the standpoint, if that vehicle went down, then we would almost be at a standstill operation. That being said, from the safety standpoint of people responding from their house is non-existent at the moment.
Turner does.
Yep.
That vehicle's.
That's one warning, please. Councilman Giltner.
Chief, what will it take to outfit these cars?
The price of that is on there. What we did was we got 3 different bid processes, got them from various organizations, and we included that on the price of it. The lowest outfitter to equip a vehicle was $59.95. We still have hopes that there's one other vendor that is possibly going to come on lower than that. So you're looking at roughly $6,000 per car.
Councilman Projo, use asking contract, that we would be entering some sort of a lease purchase with the city. So that would be contract.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because it has to be.
Yeah.
I think we definitely want to resolution on these purchases.
Yeah, if I recall.
So can we authorize these terms? Linda or Greg, can we authorize these terms? We decide to accept it. And have that be sufficient, where we could authorize, upon review by city attorney.
I think the question, Lindy, I apologize stepping in, Greg. I think the question first, the council needs to answer, are we going for 1 car or 2 cars? And then after that, then we can direct the city attorneys to draft a resolution or ordinance to reflect that decision.
But what I'm asking is whether we have to have them draft that specifically, or whether we can.
Just for council's awareness, I'm not gonna approve anything unless I have something in writing in front of me this day forward.
So I have a question here, and it might pertain to this one car food thing. So if we do go ahead with the 2 cars, and I know that we have a very old car that is on its last leg, we have another one that's getting continuous use where it's causing it wear and tear. If we go forward with the 2 car purchase, and is there the possibility of selling or, getting rid of these other 2 to help go towards the 2 new cars? I mean, I get that we'll have 2 less cop cars, but I mean, at this point, we'll at least have cars that are functioning and safe for our officers to drive.
The Randall's.
What?
That's.
So that's your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, is that a possibility? Even if we do fix just one in the long run and have 4 operational vehicles, get rid of the older car that's just constantly costing money. I mean, at least it's something to go towards the
I,
budget.
I would see. Chief.
We have sold previous patrol vehicles through the auction process. You can do that from one of two ways. You can obviously do a trade-in initially. Like if you're purchasing a vehicle out and they give you a trade-in for it, and they give you the price, that's not an option at this particular point. Second is you can do what they call a closed bid process, where you put a vehicle up in the paper, ask for solicit bid from the people that receive that advertisement. And we have not done that since I've been here. I don't know if it was ever done before or not. In my knowledge, it was not. What has been done is previous patrol cars that were non-functioning, wrecked, outlived their life, whatever you want to call the aspect that they did it on. They were sold at a vehicle auction, and that money did go back into that particular portion of the budget.
I would feel comfortable if we did that over the 2 cars and either sell both or sell one to put some money back towards that. But I mean, either way, we're gonna need vehicles. And it sounds like right now, if we do them now, it's a cheaper option than waiting down the road and paying an extra 16 for them. I mean.
Chief, what happens if we don't authorize if we only authorize the purchase of one, what happens to the other vehicle?
The other vehicle, well, actually, neither one of them, they were delivered here because we were on their list. There's been no agreement of purchase, there's been nothing of that nature. When they were dropped off, they even spoke to City Administrator Kelly Henderson, and that information was discussed and shared there also. So theoretically, they just come get the vehicle.
Okay, and then we lose that state bid vehicle.
Yeah, and actually, to be honest with you, they were pretty eager about the idea of taking them back because they do have other clients. And nobody can get them now.
Right. Councilman, Ringhausen.
If we go with 2 units, it's gonna increase the overall budget by $5,000 a year.
That is my understanding, yes.
We really don't have any cars out there that are worth a damn. I hate throwing good money in after bad money, and it's gonna be a continual operation of pumping money into these cars, transmissions, rear ends, motors, they got miles on them. I think they've done their due diligence for what that's worth in tight times like this, but I don't see where we have much of a choice but to go with 2 cars. I doubt if the one car will make it to Christmas, Thanksgiving probably. It's gonna be dead water.
The only thing I'd have against that, Bobby, is that, if we could buy one this year and then buy one next year.
That's not an option though,
That's
Don.
not an option.
Just a minute,
Sorry.
just a minute. The thing is that both of those cars, 9 years down the road, are gonna wear out the same as, that's gonna leave the next council with 2 more cars. Of course, I know maybe we don't care about that, but I've been through this in purchasing vehicles. I bought a lot of vehicles for the school and we bought them for the city. You don't want to have the same model at, more than you can get by with, because they both wear out at approximately the same time.
I would definitely agree with that statement. The only thing that I would correct on it is when you have police vehicles, it's not the same as you would school vehicles. You switch a vehicle out, you get to drive the new vehicle. For police vehicles, you're looking at possibly buying all new equipment. So if you have equipment that's set up on, say, a Ford body frame style and everything else, and you get a Chevrolet that comes in next, all your equipment won't go over. So what you end up doing is you might spend $8,000-10,000 on getting the same equipment that you got because it doesn't mount correctly. The electrical ends, which are commonly changed out on them. That's why they do quick connects. But that would be the only thing that I corrected in that.
So Chief, this is what it sounds like to me. This has kind of been in the works and the plan since last year, right? last fall anyway.
Well, two vehicles were, yes. Originally, we were
So,
planning on trying to do Dodge Chargers.
so where are we at with, grant applications and funding from the rural development?
That has not been processed on these two vehicles.
So we haven't, since last year to now, we haven't applied for anything.
We can't apply for them until you guys tell us it's approved, that we can apply for them. That was never done.
But we approved to get two vehicles last year on the waiting list, right?
My understanding was we approved to put ourselves on the waiting list, that it wasn't budgeted. As you know, with grant money, you guarantee the money is there. So I can't write a grant saying I guarantee the city is going to give 2/3 of the vehicle and we have it funded unless I'm told that you guys are going to do 2/3 of the vehicle. Getting placed on a list is basically, hey, we would like them, we're requesting them. Can we get that price? That price comes rolling back to us, and then you do the USDA grants. At least I'm assuming that's the one you're referring to, the
Right.
USDA.
So what I'm
Actually,
asking is,
one
have we
first.
applied for them? No.
I just explained why. We were planning on Chargers. I can't say we're gonna get Chargers when we can't get Chargers.
The
You have to tell them
the
the
grants
vehicle
can't
they
go
should
for, the grants can't go for any other vehicle, but.
Well, they can, but specific for a vehicle. I can't tell them I'm getting a $25,000 vehicle and say, hey, I changed my mind. Now I want a $35,000 vehicle because the grant funding is based upon the request. I mean, I know you've done grants previously.
So what's,
You can't
what's
adjust that.
What's the turnaround on it?
On US,
On the
it varies. I couldn't give you an answer on that one.
Could we go forward now and do a grant?
But it's still possible to do USDA requests.
Well, and I see it in here, I see it in here when we talk about chargers. So we gotta save our taxpayers any amount of money that we can do. And if it means filling out grants and not being successful, at least we've done our due diligence.
I'm not in disagreement, but you can't fill out a grant without approval. That's my point.
All it takes is come to this council and ask for it.
I believe that was done and we were told to be placed on the list. That's what we did. We did up to what our approval was.
So this wasn't planned from last year. We just got.
No, but the communication was planned from last year. The knowledge that two vehicles was going to be replaced was from last year. And then obviously you adjust from there.
So I guess I will make a motion to purchase 2 Ford Special Police vehicles and equipment after applying insurance proceeds for a total of $57,326 and enter into a lease purchase agreement with People's Bank and Trust for the same amount, $57,326 for a period of 8 years, sending the city attorney reviewing the agreement.
All right, point of order, Greg and Lindy. You heard the motion, correct?
Yes,
Okay. I'm going to contest and object that this needs to be in writing, whether through resolution or ordinance, versus based on a motion.
well, so the motion, it can be done that way, and just to give you and the council some historical perspective on this, even in some situations where there was more time to work with to try to arrange the lease purchase agreements on a vehicle or two, the bank would not produce the contract without the council first voting to approve it, something that we did not agree with and ask them to do it otherwise, but that was their position. I don't know if that's the same for this or not, but even with that, trying to do the advanced legwork, that's what we ran into. So you definitely have to have authority that is clear, and there are cases that have invalidated contracts when motions are vague, and so that is what you want to avoid. But if the motion contains the specific terms, the duration, the amount, and you even have the interest rate payments, the payment schedule from which you could calculate interest all there before the council, that can be sufficient. I agree with you, it would be better to have the lease purchase agreement itself in front of the council, because then there's just no question. that's what's being approved. But that's not a situation unique to tonight. We've run into this with the past lease purchase agreements. And one thing we did then was to then bring the agreement back and have it ratified when we had the final version of the document. So that would be another option here as well. I'd be glad to answer any other questions about that.
All right, so if that's the case, just not that I have any intentions of it, so could I veto this then tonight?
Well, there is not a veto of a motion, but the issue is, typically if the council authorizes the expenditure, then the mayor is the one who would sign that type of a contract. And so you would be able to achieve the same end by not acting on the contract.
So indulge me this, and I apologize to the council and people in the room. So a motion by definition is a question, right? Is that the legal definition? Is a motion a question versus an order?
A
Once the
motion.
So when a motion is first and seconded, it's the question being answered, and once it's answered and affirmed, what does it then become? Does it become, I'll sidetrack, I'll.
That would be the
withdraw.
action of the council, right?
I'll withdraw the question.
I second the motion.
All right. Do you got all the details for the minutes of their memory?
Yep.
So what's the interest rate? What's the interest rate that we're paying then?
I have no clue what said on the interest rate.
Yeah, we didn't have the interest rate, we had should I include this? Would you like that in the motion? I mean, so,
Well,
it's gonna come to you to be signed, so it's a problem.
Well, my argument and my objection from the beginning, this needs to be in writing.
Or that we want to do this and put it out there, because we do have 2 cars sitting on our lot that we, at this point, don't know if we were or we're not going to go forward with purchasing them. At least this gives us an idea of where the council stands on wanting to move forward with these cars. If we come back with the resolution fulfilled, I mean, that would be wonderful too. But at least this gives us an idea of what we're gonna tell this car dealership. Are we not? Do they need to come pick them up? Are they gonna sit here? What's the deal? I would like to move forward with this motion, just so we have a general idea of what we can tell the dealership itself. Or so we can have something to take to them and say, yes, we want to proceed, so we can get those numbers and move forward. But I believe we should come back with a resolution for a final say.
Okay. That was the question I asked from the beginning. Are we getting 1 car or 2?
I think we need a motion for 2.
So made a motion. All right. Do you know what the motion is now? Because now we kind of listed some stuff. We're making a motion.
You got it seconded?
You guys second it, purchase 2 cars. And to be ratified, once the resolution is
Correct.
drafted.
Okay.
Okay.
Would that
That way
make
we can
everybody
proceed.
feel good?
Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, take the roll, please.
Charles,
Yes.
Ms. Devitt,
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Mr. Giltner.
No, and I'd like to explain that. I'm not in opposition to the cars. I am in opposition to buying both of them the same year. If I say no, I think I have the right to state why I'm saying no. Right?
Okay, point taken.
Okay. But they both wear out at the same time. 8 years down the road, the council's gonna be sitting here discussing the same thing over and over again.
Sorry.
Well, you may not be here 8 years.
I just think no matter what, you move forward, cars are gonna break down. They're not gonna last forever.
Your roll call, please.
Might not be here too.
I have no problem. I think I'm for buying one this year and one next year. Not both of them at the same time. That's my hope.
Continue the roll call, please.
Mr. Pajot,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Dolbear,
Yes.
Mr. Ringhouse.
Yes.
All right. Motion carries.
Does the public get to talk tonight or no?
Not tonight, no.
I don't know.
The next item on the agenda, it can be,
It seems like none of our council people talk for us. So why did y'all want to run or sitting there, y'all don't even do shit for us?
so, next item, securities, hourly contract, that's been withdrawn, so unless anyone's got any new information that we're not aware of.
I guess it doesn't matter at this point, we've already appointed somebody.
Right.
So we still might want her to be hourly.
Is she still gonna, she's gonna train, right? Do we need to go forward? with it?
We'll probably engage her and see what, you know.
Just on an as needed basis. I don't know, maybe the system's a new, maybe I knows not already, I don't know.
All right,
Huge transaction.
Yeah, I want to make sure we can settle it, not too much trouble there.
entertain a motion, consideration to go into, excuse me?
If we could, before that, I'd like to return to the tax letter of engagement. I realized there's one thing we missed on the letter of engagement.
didn't hear what you said. Quiet.
That door needs to be open, sir.
I'm not trying to intimidate you. I'm telling you, you can't stand in the doorway
Well, everybody else is just standing in the fucking
until
doorway.
they shut. Hey, what?
Warning. All right, go ahead.
So one thing on the, I guess, in order the way it was here on the agenda. I know that you objected to the rate of the tax. Since we only have 2 days to turn this in. Would you be able to tell us now whether you're going to be able or not, so that we could?
I'm going to take it,
appropriate action?
I'll take it in consideration. And technically, I got till our next regular council meeting. I understand the time is of the essence due to the deadline. But I will,
Would you?
I'll be prudent with my decision.
You know what happens if we don't pass that? Don't pass any tax?
So I'm not going to entertain the question, but
Can
we'll.
you explain to the general public what happens if we don't turn in a tax?
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
Please.
I have no intentions. I haven't still under consideration. So you're putting words into my mouth that I haven't stated. Except that I oppose a tax levy within there. You understand my position and you took your action as accordingly. I will take it under consideration and
Put words in your mouth on that. I think we're just asking for clarification of what happens, like this.
so the question should be directed then to the city attorneys that can answer that question.
That's appropriate. Hey, Greg or Lindy, just for general knowledge for the public, if we do not pass the tax levy, can we just let the public know exactly what happened for us?
The language in the statutes indicate that there would be no general taxes levied except as necessary to pay, to make bond payments and one other provision. So I would have to get with the city administration to see what portion of the budget, if any, goes to there. But if there's nothing that fits into those small exceptions in the statutes, then there just would be no taxes at all for real or personal property taxes for the city for calendar year 2022, which is billed, of course, in collected in November, December, typically.
Thank you.
Kelly, can you tell us how approximately in the dollar amount, what the city would lose if that were to happen?
I think we figured between that and the regular and the railroad utilities, I think we're around 60, the 260 range.
When I added them up, it was
260,000.
It's currently budgeted.
262.
Awesome.
And that's what we wouldn't get if we didn't pass it.
Yeah.
That's
We don't pass any tax.
If we pass no tax at all, we would, all that.
Well, he said one, but I thought it. That's definitely great.
Yeah.
They come in.
Thank you.
And as-
Greg's the question was there, I think if we don't pass any tax this year.
2 years or 1 year?
1
I think
year.
so.
But I should also add that, just for clarification, we have the library tax rate of 10 cents in the same bill. And so if that doesn't pass, then that library revenue would be an addition to the $262,000 budgeted figure that Kelly was referring to. But I don't remember that budgeted revenue figure for the library off the top of my head.
Right, so around maybe 42,000 or 10 cents. Somewhere in that area.
I don't know that I want to speak on it specifically, but looking at it here, it looks like it's at least 28 in the current year.
Been a good question to ask during the time of discussion.
Well, I wanted to return to it. Do we have any availability that the mayor's going to veto? We'll have time to have another meeting before the date.
All right. Consideration of motion to go into closed session for the purpose of revised Missouri statute, section 610.021, section 1 and 3.
I did have one more thing before we go, and we did not appoint a contact person on the letter of engagement, which we're going to do by separate motion. As required by the letter of engagement. Does anybody want it?
You probably understand without anybody.
I agree with that.
Doesn't have to be. Let me make a motion. Mayor Pro Tem.
What would make a motion on?
For the letter of engagement, we have to have a contact person. Section 3, I think it was, of the letter required that we appoint a contact person.
I make a motion that we appoint or we select Tiffany as contact person.
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Again, what is the motion?
On who is the contact person on the letter of engagement? Who would be the contact person?
Who would be the contact person?
All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, like sign.
Same.
All right, motion carried.
I make a motion for the consideration to go into closed session for the purpose of revised Missouri statute section 610.021, sections 1 and 3.
No second.
Got a first and a second. Any discussion? Take the roll call, please.
Sunrise. Devin.
Yes.
Sardo.
Yes.
Dilton.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Robert.
Yes.
Robert.
Yes.
Greenhouse.
Yes.
Well, they could report when they.
Go please, clear the floor and we're gonna be in a 5-minute recess. Clear the floor. Yeah, clear the floor. The whole floor? Yep, the whole floor.
We're
5-minute recess.
How long?
good.
Is it closed session?
Thank you for your.
Are y'all coming back?
We'll take a small recess before I.
Back at all?
We always back, yeah. We'll check out upstairs.
Oh, yeah, last time. That's not my hire and.
I'm sister now.
Can you let me in the door over there too?
So I'm thinking of a.
We're back in open session. We're going to reconvene if there's anyone in the public. We'll see if there's anyone who wants to come back in.
They'll come on back in.
Come on back so we can close.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all didn't hear me say that.
I'm gonna go home and eat food.
We got a good shot.
I think you do too.
And my whole point, and I know probably I'm not the best communicator on that, but my whole this tax on this tax.
Good announce.
Yeah.
This tax. Probably will have to go back to the vote.
My only concern is if we're struggling to get people to agree to this small of a raise, they're not.
They turned down the last one, we just voted on.
Yeah, but
No,
problem,
I do
there's
think
a
we got a
problem.
better chance.
There's a
We
problem.
have the grant.
Yeah. I mean, if you can show something tangible. If you can show something tangible. And if we can't do it because they don't want to do it. So it's not really on us, then, you know, we'll still
hold it.
Yeah,
I mean, so, I mean, the whole thing is just trying to get everyone pulling the same direction. you know? And so what would hurt us, this is my biggest fear, the thing that would hurt us would be this little bitty thing. They don't amount, it's not gonna put much into our coffers and it's not gonna take much away from it. But they'll remember that if we go, now we're asking for this. And
That's why the way I tried to phrase it is that we've been taking 4 or 5 years of voluntary reduction. When we're going through our budget,
But that,
I mean, it's not like we have some absence of things to spend it on. I mean, there are a million things that we could, I mean, none of them would be frivolous, not a single one of them.
there's only one time in the last 16 years that we actually went below the 0.835 million. We did it in 1 year.
No.
Now, I'm not, I know what you're talking about as far as the eligibility of going above. And, all right, we are back in open session. Once in the public, entertain a motion.
I make much to adjourn. Second.
Second, any discussion? All those in favor say yay.
Yay. That was very unanimous.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Night, everyone. Bye.
Night, Rodney.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Doing, Rodney.
We can have a decision on the
Bye, Charlie.
tomorrow, because if we're gonna need to come back together to vote on it.
You gotta